going to start off with Mike Singer.
How can we start off with my singer every day?
Luck
You're
of the
lucky.
draw, I guess.
Is it
Mike,
paying the front of the line, or what's going on here?
I don't know what it is. I got lucky. No explanation. Last week you said that the 2 through 4 spots were all open. When it comes to a veteran like Gary, who we just talked to, do you have conversations with him going into camp, talking to him about this training camp battle that's coming, or do you just kind of let it play out?
Well, I've had conversations with Gary, and not necessarily regarding the starting lineup. More importantly, just in terms of Gary and myself figuring out a way to get Gary back to playing at the level that I know he's capable of. I think it's important. I went back and looked at his numbers from the playoffs, and what jumped out to me was in the second round against the Clippers, Gary was our third leading scorer at 11 points per game, 2.5 assists. He led us in steals at just about 2 steals per game, and he shot close to 50 from the field and 40 from 3. We don't beat the Clippers in 7 games without the productivity and efficiency of Gary Harris. So our conversations have not really been about starting and not starting. It's been more about getting Gary back to playing at the level that I know he's capable of, and he knows he's capable of. But regarding the starting lineups, I kind of enjoyed seeing JaMychal and Paul talk about start, don't start, just being a part of the team, having an important role, and knowing that the team's going to need me. But we're 2 team practices in, and we have a ways to go before we can make that decision in terms of who our starting 2, 3, and 4 is.
All right, we'll go to Chris Marlowe.
All right.
Hey, Coach. Sorry I didn't get in yesterday. My bad.
That's all right. Today's a new day, man. It's good to see you.
Good to see you too. I wanted to ask you, I know it's Saturday and you're not quite looking ahead, but I wonder what parameters are you using to determine what kind of a lineup you'll play in your first preseason game? You haven't had much time, so how much do you play the regulars, the rookies? Do all 17 get in? Questions like that.
Yeah, those are all great questions, and I'll be honest, I've thought about them. We've had discussions about them as a staff, and a lot of those are still unanswered. It's funny when you think about our game in Golden State. We're flying to a state that is shut down. We're flying into a city that is color purple right now. So even traveling is kind of interesting with us going there. But preseason game number 1, we will not play our starters or rotational players, if you will, heavy minutes. And we'll try to get as many guys a chance to play as possible. But unlike most seasons, Chris, as you know, we only have 3 preseason opportunities. We are playing a real game on December 23rd against Sacramento as a home opener. We've had 2 live practices, and I imagine all 30 head coaches in the NBA feel the same way. This is moving at a very quick pace. Teams haven't played in a while. Individuals haven't played in a while. And so you're trying to get caught up to speed while staying healthy and not demanding too much of your players. So Golden State will just be one opportunity out of 3 in the preseason to help us get ready for that season opener.
All right, we'll go to Kendra Andrews.
Hey, Michael, good to see you. Yesterday, you said that Will didn't participate in the live portion of practice. So I was just wondering if he did today. And when it came to not having him participate yesterday, what was the decision-making process like for you for that? Because it sounds like he's back and he says nothing's lingering and stuff.
Yeah, whenever those decisions are made, that's where I trust and rely upon our training staff. Having conversations with Steve Short and his staff in terms of availability, who's able to go through the live parts of practice, who's not. So it's not my decision necessarily to hold the guy out, but that's where through communication and collaboration, we make the most, educated decision possible. So Steve Short says that Will Barton yesterday and today should not go through the live parts of practice. I listened to that. And as much as Will is dying to get out there and play and he feels ready, I think just kind of being really cautious. Will has not played a live basketball game since March. He played in that little scrimmage in the first half against Orlando down in the bubble, but I think we're trying to keep a big picture approach with Will. He's doing well. He looks good. Even in the parts of practice that he did participate in yesterday and today, he looked a lot better than he looked down in the bubble. He looked a lot more explosive. He's moving well. So I expect him to be able to do some live things in the near future. But going back to your question, Kendra, this is where you have to trust your staff and your medical people to help you make those decisions.
All right, we'll go to Alex Labadou.
Hi, Coach. How are you doing?
Good, Alex. How are you, buddy?
It's Monday. Quick question for you. I know it's still early, but first impressions of the rookies so far in practices?
Yeah, I mean, well, when you say rookies, you're just talking about Zeke and RJ, or just all the new players, rookies to the Nuggets?
Sorry. Primarily Zeke and RJ, but yeah, if anyone else has stood out.
Yeah, we have so many of them. So starting off with Zeke, Zeke's going to work hard. He has a tremendous work ethic. But I can, when I watch him on the floor right now, I can see he looks overwhelmed at times. There's so much coming at him. And how he played at Arizona under a really good coach in Sean Miller, but their terminology, their philosophy. Then you come to a pro team. And I feel bad for rookies this year because in a traditional year, a rookie's going to get drafted end of June. He's going to have a few weeks of training camp going down to Vegas for Summer League. He's going to be around you all of August and September getting ready for training camp. Well, RJ and Zeke, they were drafted, seems like 2 weeks ago. And here they are in the most uncertain of times in a training camp. So I think there's a lot coming at him. He feels overwhelmed right now. He's done some nice things. He's going to, once he settles down and relaxes and things become second nature for him, that's when he'll make a big jump. RJ Hampton, he has put his athleticism on display quite a few times. Another young man that works extremely hard. I've been really impressed with their work ethic and what they bring to the gym every day in terms of their energy and pushing the guys around them. But RJ, he's a hell of an athlete, and he's strong, and he's made some really nice plays attacking the basket in the half court in transition, not just for himself, but for his teammates as well. Marcus Howard, Greg Whittington, obviously our two other quote unquote rookies. Same thing. I mean, Greg is a vet. He's been around, but he hasn't played a game since January. I think it was his last game he played over in Turkey. So kind of getting that rust off, getting back in, playing 5-on-5. We did more 5-on-5 today than we did yesterday. It was quite sloppy at times. I wish I could sit here and say it was a great practice and everything looked great, but that would be a lie. We worked hard, but we definitely have a lot to clean up. And I think that's par for the course because of the amount of time a lot of our players have missed in terms of playing the game 5-on-5.
All right, we'll go back to Chris Marlowe.
Coach, you mentioned a couple of Zooms ago that just Nikola and Murray had solidified starting spots. I was wondering, Will started 56 for you last year at small forward. Do you look at him exclusively as a small forward, or now with the emergence of Porter, can you look at him as a shooting guard, or perhaps earning a starting spot at the 2?
Yeah, I think Will's game is, and what you have to love about Will Barton in my 5 years going on 6, Chris, is that Will has been a 1, 2, and 3 for us, point guard, shooting guard, small forward at different times. He has that kind of a game where he is versatile and you can put him in different spots on the floor and you know he's going to be effective. So yes, can Will be a starting small forward? Sure. Can he be a starting 2 guard? Sure. Obviously, we'll have to wait and see kind of how this preseason plays out. And it's never about the individual. You guys have heard me say this time and time again. But when I make these decisions based on who's starting, who's in the rotation, it's not just about the individual. More importantly, it's about collectively, how does this impact our team? And most importantly, what is going to give us the best chance to win games on a consistent basis? So always a tough decision to come up with your starting 5, but We have some really talented players, and we'll make that decision when we feel it's the right time to do so.
All right, we'll go to Ryan Blackburn.
Hey, Coach, good to see you. Nikola and Jamal are two of the best mid-range players over the past couple of years. You mentioned yesterday how your priority for this offense this year was to try to get them to take more threes, get them to generate more corner threes. How much of that is difficult how much is difficult when asking two really great mid-range players to kind of sort of change their identity in a way that generates just a more valuable shot to the system?
Yeah, good question, Ryan. I don't want to become Houston, of old in terms of where we're just taking, it's all threes, rim, and free throws. We're not going to that level. And you make a really good point. Nikola is ultra efficient in the mid range. And so you want to allow him, he's a great player. You want to allow him to continue to take that shot. Jamal Murray is very good in the mid range, not at the efficiency level maybe of a Nikola Jokic, but with teams playing pick and rolls down the floor like a lot of them are, you have to be able to make that shot and keep teams honest. I think what we're trying to do is sometimes we will pass up open shots, open threes to drive into traffic and take a tough contested mid-range shot. We want to eliminate those. We want to eliminate the ones early in the clock, whether it's Monte or PJ or Jamal coming down with 18 on the shot clock and shooting a mid-range shot. We can get that shot whenever we want. So we have to put more pressure on the rim. We have to put more pressure on the paint, because that will open up more threes, that will create more rim attempts, and ultimately, hopefully, creates more free throw attempts as well. So we're not going to completely take that away from us, especially when your two best players have shown and proved to be fairly efficient in shooting those shots.
All right, we'll go to Joel Rush.
Hi, Coach. You've spoken a lot about integration being a challenge for this training camp and preseason, and just wondering in these first 2 days if you've seen some progress made on that front.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's something that is going to be just like culture, something that you have to build every day. You have to work on every day. 7 new players coming in. It's not going to happen overnight. I think what's going to help us is with all the current COVID protocols at home, on the road, I think that should help breed more team because they're really trying to reduce the amount of time you're spent anywhere other than your team. But guys working out before practice, guys working out after practice, being on the court. I was just downstairs watching, Jamal shooting with Facu and RJ and Marcus. And those are the times where you kind of build the camaraderie, build the chemistry. It's not just on the court during practice. It's pre, it's post, it's in the locker room, it's on the team airplane. And as much as we can build we and us, that's only going to help us come together that much quicker, which is what we all want.
All right, we've got time for one more. We're going to end with Mike Singer.
Hey, Michael, throughout these, 3 or 4 press conferences, I don't think we've yet asked you about Bol and what you view his role being this year. Kind of in the same similar vein is, how do you view Will? In terms of Bol, do you see him as a 3, as a 4, as a 5? Where do you ideally want to slot him in based off best fit with your team?
Yeah, when I think of how you define a player regarding his position, I always look at it from a defensive perspective. Who can you guard? That's to me how I judge. Is Bol a 5, 4, or a 3? And in Bol's case, obviously he has the perimeter skills on offense of a 3 or a 4. Defensively, can he guard some 5s? Yes. Can he guard some 4s? Yes. As you saw in the bubble, when he was in the game, in the seeding games, we used a lot of zone defense, trying to funnel the ball to him so he can be a shot blocker, play to his strengths. Regarding his role this year, we have a lot of talented players, and nothing is going to be given to anybody. Bol's going to have to earn those minutes. He did a really nice job when he got an opportunity in the bubble. But just like I told our team the other day, last season was great. It was historic in nature, Western Conference Finals. None of that matters now. This is a brand new year. And same thing for Bol and everybody else. This is a new season, so Bol's gonna have to earn any minutes that he gets, and that he has to do that in practice. So he's done a nice job in our first 2 practices. He'll get a chance to continue to show his ability to help us on both ends of the floor, and we'll see how it goes. But only 2 practices in, there's so many things that are still to be determined. And I look in the coming weeks to kind of seeing how the roster, the starting lineup, the rotation guys off the bench comes together, and we'll make those decisions accordingly.
All right, that'll do it, Coach. Appreciate you sitting down with us.
All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it, and ladies. Sir.